Well, hello, it's Pluto Man, and this is the second part of a little series of videos I'm doing on two tournaments I played on Friday. When the weather was a lot better than it is now, this would actually be a perfect day for poker, but I've got to like do lesson plans and things. Anyway, yeah, so it's absolutely tipping it down, it's bucketing down. So I played this on Friday morning. And this is part two. So I'm playing pot limit Badugi and no limit single draw. Most of my energy here is on the no limit single draw because I'm at a much more advanced stage of the tournament. Uh, just yeah, whereas the Badugi, I've only actually played I don't know, I've probably played a dozen hands or something of that so far. So I've only just got started in that one. See how that one progresses or not, as the case may be. Let's get going. So uh, so that must have been some previous hand just before the break. So yeah, just after this break, it's just about 11 o'clock. This is the single draw. I've got a pretty good draw considering my position. Got a paired three, so duplicate three is a blocker. It's one fewer nice low card that somebody else could have. So that just puts my hand just at the margins, helps it a little bit. Okay, so anyway, I raised to 2.7 times. Now you're a relatively short stack here. If he goes all in, then I've got a decision on my hands. He doesn't. Um, So now this is the Doogie table. I've got a good enough draw to come in here. It's easily good enough from that position. Now look at this. I get pat number two. Would you believe it? Once every 15, 1600 times you get a pat hand that strong. Now, I do pick up some good pat hands in this tournament. I think I was pretty lucky. I think the deck hit me relatively well in terms of pat hands. But anyway, unfortunately, I get no action. That's really upsetting. Anyway, here we go though. Back to this jumping around now. That I've got a two card draw to an eight here. That's got to fold. They don't even think about calling that. If you had a $10 bounty, would I call? Whew, possibly. I doubt it though. So anyway, so I don't really improve. I had 7-3-2, but I didn't want to bluff that. It's not bad enough for that. I'm probably going to win 40% of the time there. Has showdown value now on this table now. A lot of stuff going on here. It's all go. Now this table here, the Badugi, I've got it's not a fantastic draw. I just try to. I don't think I did that. I think I maybe should have put a bit more money into that pot. Maybe, but now I think I have an easy fold there. I can't break that hand really. I could, but it's a gut shot. Now another good draw here. Now it's also a gut shot, but of course, I've got the jack too, so it's a two-way hand, but I'm probably going to be packing the jack most of the time because of the gut shot there. So just, obviously a six is not one of your outs. So what does he do? Does he have position? Oh, this was a no-brainer, Pat. Obviously, if he draws two, and that's not good play for hit from him. And though he's sort of hit decently okay with a two-card draw, I still had a better hand. Now look what I've hit here. I've hit a 7-5-3-2. So I hit like basically my best. I hit absolutely perfect there on the well, an ace would be better, but you can't complain. So there, I just check in the big blind here, 10-9-8 draw. Now this one, so 7-5-3-2 is a monster hand. It will be beaten sometimes though. So you gotta just have to accept that sometimes someone's going to hit a better hand, and he might get knocked out of the tournament right here. That's life. So I bet kind of 60% of the pot there. I've got a big draw here too, so I'm actually getting a lot of stuff going on here. The reason why I'm getting a lot of stuff, by the way, is because I'm editing out the hands. I'm not getting stuff. So that's why. But I have had, but even so, that's only 5 minutes of the real-time stuff of the video. Um, so here I go. So more money is going in here. Doesn't look like anybody else is pat yet, which is actually kind of a bugger. You'd quite like somebody to be pat, so that then they're likely to be dead to whatever you had to your very strong hand, my very strong hand. Yeah, it's a fold there, easy fold there with 7-4-3. Don't even think about limping or any crap like that. And I bet about 2/3 of the pot now. A bit over that actually, close to 3/4 now. Got garbage on that table now. 7-5-3-2. Now so he shoves, and well, occasionally I'm going to lose here. Occasionally I'm going to lose. Most of the time I'm going to win. My hand is really strong, and he's not pat. Oh, and for a second there, you see Phoenix. I thought for a second there he actually had the nut 7. I remember that. I was thinking, shit, he's beaten me. But no, he didn't hit his hand. And what was it again that? Well, I had the best. I had the best hand. So I've got. So look. I basically I triple up there. Now I've got close to 9,000. So that's a fantastic. Basically start the tournament. We've only just started the tournament, so as I said, it could have gone horribly wrong. Occasionally, it would have done, but you know, you've got a massive favourite there. Now look at this. So I just call. I raise. He 3-bet. 7-4-3 is definitely enough to. And now again, I've got a huge hand. Notice that the time now 12 minutes past 11. Now I've got a problem with this hand. Now if I go on to the Badugi, got another monster hand. He might hit occasionally. And he does hit. He actually hit it on the second draw, but he was drawing dead to my hand there because I had a. Now, here I've got a flush draw. That's not what you want. And I'm likely to bluff if I actually hit my flush. Now, I decide not. I don't think I decide to bluff. I think I decide to just check it back. And I'm three-way there too. So, it doesn't get three less often. Of course, when you have a flush draw, you're going to actually hit. Flush card quite often. So I kind of think if I was bluffing there, I was going to be bluffing a little bit too often. Now, what do I decide to do here? What do I decide to do? Decide to call. Do I draw 3 or do I draw draw 2 or do I draw 1? I just draw 1. I didn't want to pat there because my hand was it's a really weak pat, and I didn't know how to play this hand. Honestly, there were 3 ways to go here. I think drawing to the 10. Yeah, well, obviously I'll win the hand, but that's not an indication I think there. I think it was a really close decision. I mean, maybe I should have just patted it, raised it to, 3 or 4 times what the initial raise was. Or initial, I think it was a limp pot, wasn't it? So, yeah, that's probably what I should have done. The thing is, you're going to get called a lot on 3-way, so I just brick that out. But again, there's 4. Hitting the 4 there is not good enough to attempt to bluff, so, but not bad enough, really. I mean, you could. Whew, I'm having to talk a lot here. This is exhausting. Now again, I've got a gut shot, but I also have the jack. I only raised pretty small, I think 2.3 times. What's how many is he going to draw here? Oh, draws 1. I just check it back, and he has a better hand, right? Okay, that happens. That happens. Didn't lose too much there. 29,000 roughly. There is my. So I've actually been down just a tiny bit, only a tiny bit. Now I'm pretty sure I go for quite a big raise here. There's a limp there. I have a Queen Badugi. It's not a good hand. I want people to get away. It'd be interesting if I get calls here. What the hell do I do then? But I'm trying to use the fact that I have a big stack now. Mizuki actually, I think, covers me. Very close, actually. So he drew 3. So look at this guy here. Look, he called my raise and drew 3. Then he folded to the flop. I actually he's doing that. He's going to call that bet too. But I'm guessing he just completely. He might not even know the rules of the game. That's another thing to watch out. Just call here. I could 3-bet. It would probably be okay to do that. Because then if you get 4-bet and you get knocked off your hand, it's not a disaster because you don't have the best draw in the world. If you have a really like a monster draw, like a 7-6-4-2 or 7-5-3-2, then that is a kind of a disaster. What do I decide to do here, though? I think I fold. It's probably quite a tight fold, but you can see the dead money there. And I just get out of the way. I don't know whether that's the right thing to do. So nothing there onto the gun. So I'm losing a bit of ground now. 13 players left because we're on two tables now. Seven. This tournament plays seven-handed, seven max, which I kind of like. Seven is a nice number. Seven and eight are always my favourite numbers of people at a table. Six I find a little bit too few. Nine I find a little bit too many. Seven and eight's in that sweet spot. The nice thing about seven or eight is that if you are playing, there's a seat empty or two seats empty, you still have a reasonable number of people at the table. So I decided to call here. I've got 8-4-3. It's just min raised. Oh, and look at what I've got here. I hit number six on a two-card draw, and I don't know, maybe I raised a little bit too much. It looks like he's thinking about it, and maybe I could try and, I mean, I should be bluffing here sometimes too. That's the thing, because it's just a fairly small bet. He also only min raised pre. It made me think his hand isn't that strong. So I think I should probably mix that up with some bluffs there too. I've hit. And now look what I've got here. I've got number 13. It's the 13th best hand you can have. So what's going on the Badugi table? A lot of stuff happening here. I just brick at the moment. So look at Tibor, whatever you want to pronounce it. He's really. So how did that one go? How many did he draw? Let's have a look. He didn't draw at all. That was interesting. Like your play there, torched. Just be phrasing it that way. It's making no sense. So actually, I should be doing this with like Jack 10 as well. But I'll probably go a little bit bigger with Jack 10. And then I said, oh, actually, then I changed my mind completely and actually do go bigger. I bet 80% of the pot. It's half his stack. Remember, it's half his stack, just over, and he actually calls. Now, I get it. All he actually had there is he could be thinking I'm bluffing because of the passive way, really bad passive way that he played that hand. Now this is by sheer chance. I actually bet his stack. I was 70% of what was in the pot, but I didn't realise that I was kind of busy, and I take it down. He had the really good three-card hand, and I get his bounty as well. This is something I've always struggled to do: is get people's bounties. I just let this one go. 10 draw. Any bet is there, and that's a bugger, right? So any bet is a good player, big winner overall. I should have him as orange. Why don't I have him as orange? I have no idea. I see him at the Badugi tables. I think he's a draw man. These low stakes. He's doing very well. There's dead money in here. Got a very good draw. Obviously, everyone just folds. That's really interesting. Now this one, I'm going to open this up on the button if I get the chance to. I've also got a 5 blocker, but yo, Mr. with all the numbers has decided to just shove, so it's the easiest fold in the world. So 32,000, still got a decent stack. Third place out of 9. Now we're down to 8. So we're getting close to the final table now. Almost, we can smell it. I can smell it. I can touch it. I can feel it. But I'm not there yet. Now look what I decided to do. I've got a Badugi, but I decided to break off the king and the queen because we're very multi-way here. King queen is not going to. It's almost certainly not going to end up being the best hand by the river, unless you can really, bam it and get everybody out. But if people are just limping in, they're probably gonna call something. So what do I do here? I call again. Of course, I've got such a strong 3-card hand. Now I've got a very good hand here, but it's not a world beater. Now what am I doing here? I'm checking. I think I decide to fold here. Whew. Now I've already put in 30% of my stack there, and I decide to fold, so that's a pain. Now, how do I decide to do this? Do I raise? Ugh. I don't think I've played this very well. Now I've got a very good hand here. Best 98 in the world. There's there. See, Mr. Legal doesn't have a world chips there. I'm playing very passively here because I want to keep people in. I don't know. I don't know whether I'm playing this very well. Bet half the pot on the river, approximately. And he calls and has a better hand. Wow, okay. I probably should have got more money in before then. So the hand was very vulnerable and let him outdraw me, and I don't think I played that very well. Now I've got a also have an 8 blocker here, as well as my very, very strong draw, considering the position I'm in on the button. I'm going to have 10 draws, jack draws, all kinds of stuff. Hit my 10. I'm gonna bet this because he drew 2. I think it's a clear bet here. And he calls me with the worst hands. That's good. I get some value for my hand there. Call me with Queen, Jack, 10. So he had a bluff catcher there. Of course, on occasion I'm going to bluff it. I don't know. His call's probably like neutral or something there, I guess. Now I've got a big draw here. Do not keep the king. That would be insane. You really want to shoot for the moon a lot of the time in these tournaments, I think. Yeah, when you've got a draw like that, just keeping the king, I think, would be a disaster. I mean, your 6-2 ace is a very strong draw, and it's a hand as well. And you sit your 6-2 ace, even if you don't make a Badugi, you can make 3-2 ace, 4-2 ace, that sort of stuff as well. So improving your 3-card hand is worth doing too. Now, this is a really weird one. I think he min 3-bet there. Don't have a great draw, but can't fold. And look at Mizuki. Look how many chips he had and how many he doesn't have now. I decide to call here. And I lose. He had a monster hand. I think it's number 14, 87632. So now I'm right down. I only got 14,000. It's 7th out of 8 plays. Serious danger of not even making the final table. So Mizuki, he's put his purple because he's spewy. Now look at that. I hit 7. Not the best, not the world's best hand, but it's a very, very strong hand. Even so, people might even be drawing dead to this hand sometimes. So that's one thing that people get wrong. That's where you get a lot of your values. People draw to hands that are just too weak. Mizuki does actually hit on the river, but again, he was drawing dead to my hand there. He couldn't hit better than what I had. So I get Mizuki's Badugi bounty. And now back onto this table here. Now 40 minutes of the 40 minutes through out of the 55-minute little session before we get the next break. I'm not doing very well on the single draw anymore. Now I've got a Badugi. It's a really bad one, but he drew 2, so suddenly the value of that goes up. But of course, 1 out of 10 times, roughly 1 out of 10, he's going to actually hit a Badugi, which is. But anyway, he just looks like he completely bricked. He folded to my. And I fold here, even though I've got a 2-card draw. It's not fantastic. Rates and stuff, and I decide to give that up. But we're on the final table. Did you see that? I may have made the final table. I have made the final table. I don't know about you. I should stop saying we. I just decide to call here because I hit a queen. That's not exactly what I was aiming for. It will win at showdown sometimes, though. What do I decide to do here? He's put me all in. I just fold. Sometimes he'll be bluffing, sometimes I'm folding the worst hand, but decide to fold. So I'm now down to 8,000. We're in a perilous position. Going to be finishing in 7th place a lot here, no matter what I do. Soon I'm going to have to just go with my hand. Now, Marianne just got a small stack. Very aggressive, kind of spewy player. But I call. And he pots that. Even sometimes I might even have the best hand. I doubt it though. But I didn't feel like it could balance, even from somebody like that. Now look at what I've got here. decided not to go all in here. Normally I think I'd go all in, but I actually want other people to come in, try and take my bounty or do something. My bounty's not very big, but he draws 2, so he's happy to draw 2. They're both happy to draw 2 to try and outdraw me. Sometimes, of course, they'll hit. Like 10% of the time, each of them will beat my hand or something. A bit less than 10%. But anyway, and now I get another big hand. Again, I go for nearly 3 times. I don't just shove here. I could. And again, a 2-card draw. So people are happy to draw 2 to try and outdraw me. And of course, I just bet this, bet half my stack roughly. If you check raises me, I still have to call. Probably lose, unfortunately. Should be a bit of a bugger, but I cling on. Now I've got, so I've come right back into the not quite. Still in 6th place. Got this guy here. His name is Words Backwards with 666. So I don't raise very much, considering there's a limper in there. I just take that down. So I'm getting some very good hands. Some big hands, big 1-card draws. Now I've got another big draw here. I can make as good as number 10. I don't want a 3-bet here. I want to, I'm playing relatively conservatively. Unfortunately, I pair my top card. Now, what do I do here? Do I try and bluff? I mean, I think if it was heads up, I'd bluff here. And I suppose, but I might have bluffed there too, actually. I think I might have done, but this Goldberg just shoved on me. A busted draw. So, now, I would certainly have raised this up if it folded round to me, but I mean, I'm lucky in some ways that well, I didn't get involved with that. Everybody else was getting involved, and any bet's been shoving a lot, something to really take note of. And it seems to work. You seem to get a lot of folds. I draw 4 here, which is the only way to play this. Don't keep one of the 8s. That's crazy. That would be. So I'm going for. I've got a very good draw here again. And okay, so now I have to call here. I'm calling. The odds I'm getting are huge. And look, and I'm an underdog there. I'm an underdog 60-40, maybe 65-35, something along those lines. I'm fortunate. Unfortunately, he didn't have much of a bounty. I don't get much. And this is the thing I've found in this tournament, is that bounties have been little bounties, and there are large bounties floating around, and I'm not able to snag them. So we go 1, 1, 1. Don't hit well. A couple of minutes of this video left. This portion of the video left, I suppose. 2-card draw here. 3 blocker helps a little bit. But I just decided to fold. I think it would be a bit of a leak, actually, a little leak, not a big leak, to call there. This guy is min raising a lot. This 1878, 279, whatever how you want to say his number. So, and he's shoving, so he's shoving a lot, and shoving again, risking more than half his stack there too. But he's chipping up. So now, so notice so only 5 left now. Now I'm really struggling. I have a small stack again after coming back into it. I'm not. Now what do I decide to do here? I decide to raise pretty big. I don't mind, because they are so short stacked that. The trouble is now that I'm an underdog here. Maybe I have 33% equity or something like that. If they both have 1-card draws, I was hoping at least one of them would draw 2. But no, they didn't do that. Default this. Now I'm down to 9,000. As we head towards the break here. Now I'm a little bit unlikely to win this hand. Let's see what pans out. And okay, so 998, you beat me. Although I do get Russian Winter's bounty. So even though I do chip down a little bit there, I do actually get his bounty. So it's a big. So now I'm in pretty much a desperate position. I have a draw here, I have a good draw, and I just shove it. And I think that's the only way to play that. Anyway, that worked. I took it down. I have just over 12,000. I'm the short stack with five-handed, and nothing much happens on this table. That's the last hand before the break. Nothing happens there. So, got a decent stack here. 45 players left. 5 on the other table. That was part 2. Hope you enjoyed it. A lot of action there because I cut out the inaction. Now I can stop talking. Isn't that great? This afternoon I'll have to start talking again because I've got some English lessons. That's a bugger. But I'll enjoy the not talking again before then. Okay. Take care, and I'll be back with part 3 pretty soon.